Live, live. We are live. Welcome to
Good,
Conscious Crypto Traders. I'm Nicola and I'm joined here with Teresa. Hi, Teresa. How you doing?
I'm awesome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are and when you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we are in Costa Rica at the Vistamundo Retreat Center and Conscious Community that we are developing here.
Yeah, one of the few developments in the world, but definitely the only development in Costa Rica where you can buy land with Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
not only are we cutting edge from the standpoint of being a food forest and a conscious community, but we're also crypto friendly. So we're very excited about that. And these calls are actually a fundraiser for our infrastructure needs in this community. We use any donations we make off these calls to pave roads and develop other infrastructure that really help with the economy of the local community. So we thank you, those of you who've made donations already, and thank you for future donations coming up.
Yeah, awesome. So we're going to have a shorter stream today. We are going to be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, price action, news alert, where to next, where are we going? And here is our agenda. We're going to start by looking at what's going on with Bitcoin price action right now. I've got some really exciting things to share with you about Ethereum. And if you think that we're going to have a major retracement back down under 3,000, then I've got some interesting things to show you today. We're also going to look at XRP and price action because as we speak, it is breaking out of a pattern. And then we're going to talk about scenarios. So here at Conscious Crypto Traders, we're about learning how to trade consciously so that you are aware of all of the things that may affect your ability to, one, make a good decision or a bad decision, and two, make profit. And two of the scenarios we're going to talk about today are the monthly candle patterns for Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Mercury Retrograde coming up, Saturn Retrograde. How is that going to affect price action? And then we're going to do a little bit of mindset, as we do. We always love to talk about mindset, managing euphoria, and the importance of sleep and how that can help you or get in the way of you making the best decisions and profitable decisions when you are trading. When you're trading with leverage specifically. I would love for you to like the video, help us out. We're a new channel, we're just getting started, and we've already interviewed some of the biggest crypto YouTubers out there. So you want to make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell, all that sort of thing, so that you get notified when we're uploading those interviews. And also we would love your comments and your questions. What would you like us to answer? Both Teresa and I are enthusiasts and we love crypto and we love talking about it. So let's get right on to, I'm going to start with Ethereum today because Ethereum is beginning to decouple from Bitcoin, right? It's starting to have its own trajectory. So I'm just about to share my screen with you. And I do apologize because it is a little bit of a dirty screen. I'm on Ethereum on the weekly. Now, as you know, we have just had a bolt and we got all the way up over to 3,500. And this is what I want to talk about because I spot traded Ethereum at 3,000, and I should have waited because we may not retrace under 3,000 for a while. And here's why: if you look at the market structure here for Ethereum on the weekly, and the candles go up, the bottom of this weekly candle was at 2,943. And the way we're going, if we're going to have a significant 40% retracement to come back down here in the next couple of weeks, then we are potentially breaking this market structure, which is possible, but might not be that likely. Now, if we come over here on the daily, we are forming a bull flag, and the bottom of this flag was 2,000, around about 2,200 and something. And here we are with the new flag, potentially a bull pennant. Let's see as the days go by. So this is looking incredibly bullish. Look, we've got a W here, super, super, super bullish. Now, so let's come down into the 1 hour, because this is where things are starting to get exciting. Let me put all my lines in. For those of you who are new to our channel, you will know that as a chartist, I like to get a little bit dirty with my charts, like pickup sticks. We have a diamond pattern, Teresa. Do you want to talk about?
I know. I'm calling it Carl's diamond because he called it on his video this morning. Carl the Moon. A lot of us watch Carl.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful diamond patterns. Diamonds are one of the patterns that have the highest probability of succeeding. So that's good to know. And, you know, just a beautiful opportunity to trade. So we're in the breakout of the diamond and it's reconfirmed. So we're on our way up to the target, which I think is around 3,800, which coincidentally is also the top of the channel. Like it's neat when the target of a pattern coincides with a bigger pattern, right? Yeah. And Ethereum's been trading in this huge channel for some time. And the target of this particular diamond actually coincides with the top of that channel. Isn't that cool?
It is cool. There's quite a lot of confluence here. So if you have a look at, let's see, here he is. We've broken out. We came back down to test resistance and support. We came back up with a flagpole here. Looks like this is a really short flag because we've already confirmed that. Looks like we're coming back to retest this support line here. So we are off and away. There's confluence also around a little bit of stoppage here at 3,668. So this is an indication that we're going for the next all-time high, and we are going to surpass it. And it is possible that we may not see a significant retracement under 3,100 until we get to 4,400 or 5,000. As I showed you on the weekly, if we were to retrace back down under 20, you know, let's say 2,950, then we are breaking structure. So really super, super bullish. So we are at a stage, for those of you who aren't in a trade, where obviously you've got to do your own research, right? Because we're not licensed to give you advice, but this is traditionally where you would put in a trade, right? Because we have confirmed the breakout. Now all you need to do is look for volume. So Ethereum is really, really bullish, while Bitcoin is struggling back from its big retracement and going sideways. But overall, market structure is looking really bullish, and we've got a bull flag on the weekly. Have a look at this. Boom. It is a big, long way. And I think the target was $99. I'll show you on my next screen with all my lines. Look at this. We've got if we come here, we've got this nice, maybe a bull pennant, or maybe a bull flag. Let's see in the next week's candle, or if we go above 65,000, which means if we go into a new all-time high, we are looking at potentially going much further. So have a look at the Ichimoku cloud. And by the way, Teresa and I say it differently. Teresa, do you want to pronounce it the way you say it?
I say the Ichimoku cloud, and Nicholas says the Ichimoku cloud, but I've heard it pronounced both ways. So we have to find a Japanese person to tell us what the correct pronunciation is. I'm not sure. If you speak Japanese or you're Japanese, leave us a comment as to which is the correct way to spell it, or the correct way to pronounce it, because I've heard it both ways. Yeah,
there's a lot of euphoria in the market, which we're going to talk about later on in the stream as well, which is really be very wary of that. Teresa's got a really good chart to show you that we may not be going parabolic with Bitcoin just yet. But if we have a look at the Ichimoku cloud, you're looking at a really sharp trajectory around about the 28th of June, with possibly trading sideways, just going slightly, up and up over the next coming weeks. But I'm going to leave Teresa to talk a bit more about that. Let's go to the hourly and let's put in all of my lines, because we are in a pattern potentially breaking out of the downward sloping channel. We've broken out. I don't know, Teresa, would you say we came back down and tested support as resistance as support with this red candle? Because it didn't really even come down to this.
sometimes it never really does, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes it just keeps going. And so, if you were looking for confirmation on that trade, it didn't give us the nice clean confirmation that we sometimes get, right? Like a really beautiful confirmation is when it comes down to the resistance line, tests it as support. I actually didn't trade this because I was waiting for the confirmation, and the confirmation never came. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting right now. I'm waiting for the next really great entry point, and that's okay. You've got to have your own rules for trading and stick to them. And me personally, I was looking for the confirmation, and so I did not jump into this trade. And then by the time I realized the confirmation ain't coming, Teresa, as a lot of people in the industry say, you don't jump on a moving train. If you've missed the point to enter, you just wait for the next trade. There's always a next trade.
Yeah, you pretty much like we're in the middle of a channel of two resistance points here, support here, resistance there, and we've got a little bull flag, and this might have to redraw the lines now that we've got a few more hourly candles, which means that price action is sloping downward temporarily. So we would be, a good entry point is obviously once we break out of this line here, and as Teresa said, it might not retest. Like normally the rules are, if you're new to the rules of trading, that when we get a breakout, the rules are either one hour green candle clearing this line here with volume, or you wait for it to the candle to print next time, get a retracement back down to where it broke out, so we confirm that this previous line of resistance is now support. It goes up over the last candle, and then you've got volume, so you've got momentum that this is not going to be a trade that's going to turn around and reverse. So those are usually the two entry points. This is where I like to use the Ichimoku cloud, because this is telling me that we may be going down in price a little bit more before we actually get a breakout here. And if we keep going down, then obviously this is going to invalidate this as a bull flag. This will no longer be a flagpole. So if it was me and I wasn't in a Bitcoin trade, I would be waiting for a very clear signal that we're heading up. I mean, even a bounce off this resistance line here at 56,266, a very, very clear bounce is a potential entry point if the Ichimoku cloud is sloping up. But we've got a lot of interest in trading down here in the volume. We're also coming up to the top of the RSI. So generally speaking, you don't want to be entering a trade when the RSI is up here. You want to be down here where you've got a confirmed in a resistance, a resistance line has become support, breaking out of a pattern with the RSI showing that there's room to go up. Because more often than not, with Bitcoin and Ethereum, you get into a trade, it's perfect, but that momentum's not there, or the RSI is almost topping out. So it turns around, it reverses, and you go into the negative. So you want to be really watching out for that. For those of you just joining, we're a new channel, and we would really love your support by liking and commenting, especially the commenting, because that lets YouTube know that we're presenting content that people are actually grooving on. And obviously, subscribing, hitting the bell, and clicking all. What we are focusing on here are trading strategies, trading scenarios, and also mindset psychology, so that you make better decisions and therefore more profitable trades. Is there anything you want to say on Bitcoin? We are going to talk about the monthly candles later, but is there anything you want to say right now before I go to XRP?
It's worth noting though that the Ichimoku cloud is bearish right now, right? Like as soon as it's flipped over and it's showing color red, especially the leading edge of that cloud, that's a leading indicator that price might be coming down. Now that's on the hourly time frame. It's still bullish on the daily and the weekly, but that might mean we haven't seen the end of this bull flag yet. This bull flag might retrace all the way back down to that major support resistance line before we see it break out. So just, it's worth noting it's okay to take a breather if there's contrary indicators right now. In general, this is looking pretty bullish, but there are some bearish signs on the charts. So if you're spot trading, we're still $10,000 below the all-time high. Maybe not a bad entry point if you're spot trading into Bitcoin. But if you're trying to enter into a leverage trade, this is probably not the most solid entry point.
Yeah, we want to wait a little bit more to see what's going on. So we may get that retracement, and we may confirm that this downward sloping line and the channel that it has been acting on ends up being a support, which would be really bullish. That would be really awesome. XRP. This is the weekly, because when in doubt, zoom out. It's always good to look at price structure. This is incredibly bullish. This is a typical bull flag here on the weekly, and we're looking at a price that, like, if we break 178 and go back up to just over $2, it is possible that we may then see that parabolic run up to its previous all-time high around the $3.20, $3.80, or $3.50 mark, right? So the structure of XRP is looking really awesome. However, with XRP, there's a massive amount of movement. Here we go. On
I love your charts, how messy they are.
I know, I'm like, I just love it. Like,
her apartment looks like that too, just so you know.
Yeah, because I'm a creative, I see things when things are messy, whereas other people need clarity to see things. So we have a typical inverse head and shoulders with a target of 166, right? We've come out of the inverse head and shoulders. We've broken out with a flagpole, and we have a bull flag here. And now it looks like we're potentially breaking out of that flagpole as well. So XRP, totally bullish. If you're already in a trade, congratulations. If you're not, you would probably want to have a look at clearing 16238, which is the next level of resistance that we are going in, because we do have bigger fish to fry in this. Let me just go on the 4 hourly, because I think there was a big bull flag on the 4 hourly as well. No, there wasn't. I don't know what I was. Oh, I must have been thinking about something else. Broke out this one. Yeah. So we're trading this head and shoulders. No, here it is. Here, the bull flag 4 hourly, $1.82 is the target for that. Looks like we broke out of it. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Bull flag broke out, came back into the pattern. It's a little bit long. It's not a beautiful bull flag. But that target is still sitting there at 182, and then up here, all the way up here.
I love it when you really have to climb to get to the target.
We are
the target.
We're looking at $2.67, and this was a line that I put in from a bigger monthly candle. But we just want to focus on right now. We are trading out of this inverse head and shoulders, and if you're not in a trade, you are obviously wanting to have a look at the 4 hour and this new bull flag here that it looks like we're breaking out, clearing this resistance line, testing it as support. So the entry point could be, just depending on what the market structure is, when you're ready to trade it, at $1.62, maybe $1.66 if you want to play it safe. But remember, we want to see a clear candle breakout on the hourly, and ideally you want it to come back down for another hour to retest, and then go back up with volume and momentum to push the price up, so we don't get a quick reversal. But everything is looking totally awesome. I'm just going to have a look at the comments right now while we flip over to start talking about scenarios in the next couple of days, weeks, and months that could affect price action, so that you need to be aware of when you're trading. So while I'm doing that, Teresa, do you want to talk about scenario trading, what it is, and then have a look at the monthly candles that you were telling us about,
Yeah. Scenario trading is just really thinking about what are the scenarios that might affect the price action of Bitcoin, other than just the pattern that you're trading, right? And the idea of scenario trading was invented by trader Tom Hugottert, who's actually a traditional trader. He doesn't trade crypto, but the concept applies everywhere, right? We actually run a mastermind of people who help us dive into the research. I see one of my mastermind buddies, Peter Medalik, actually is one of the people who left a comment. So hi, Peter, thanks for watching. We have really great conversations on those mastermind calls. Like Peter recently has been diving into detailed research around CME gaps and what does that do, you know, especially if they're in correlation with an all-time high, or what does that do to the price action on a Monday or a Tuesday if they happen on the weekend. So I'm really looking forward to having a little more clarity around that. We're just sort of massaging through the data right now so we can come up with some scenarios. But if you're interested in joining our mastermind to help us really dive into the charts and inquire about different questions just by going back and looking historically at how those questions tend to perform, feel free to reach out. We meet every 2 weeks. And we each take questions away that we go look at, and then we come back to the mastermind to discuss to see if there's enough there. And we'll be producing videos for you guys that you can see here on the channel. So with that, do you want me to dive into the monthly, Nicola? Yeah. Okay. So I always like to have the contrary view presented, not necessarily because it's the most probable, but because I do think it's important to always zoom out and think about what are the maximum levels that we might be going to in any given situation, because some trades are like no-brainers. You just know it's not going anywhere but the direction it's going. You can have high confidence in that. That's when traders go all in, as they say. Most traders have their own definition of all in. For some traders, that's 25% of their portfolio in one trade. But you've got to come up with your own definition for that. But I think it's really important to look historically at what's going on with Bitcoin. This is just a chart of Bitcoin since its inception. This is one of my favorite charts. If you type in index, this is an average price action over a number of exchanges since Bitcoin was first issued in 2010. So this is Bitcoin at 5 cents. And this is just the monthly candles, right? And it's really important to remember that Bitcoin is a really young asset. Like, we only have 10 years of data on Bitcoin. So if we consider from when Bitcoin first came out to when it first peaked at around, I think the peak was up here at around $300. It was this big wick that we had in the price action. That was really the first bull run, right? And then the second bull run was, you know, this area here that we had in 2013. And that was the only time we saw the pi cycle indicator top twice, right? And each of these bull runs has had a retracement in the middle. And in fact, the fact that we've had a pretty significant retracement in the middle has given some stability to the bull run so that it could go higher, right? And usually that retracement, if you look back in the charts, it's usually lasting about 2 months, like one red candle, but it keeps going down in the subsequent month. Like, so if you look at the price action on this first one, there's a nice trend line down. So this lasted about 2.5 months. This is about 10-week retracement. This is the closest to what we have going on right now because the pi cycle indicator just topped out, right? So this retracement in 2013 actually lasted almost 4 months. It was about 3.5 months long, right? Most other bull run retracements where we haven't seen the pi cycle indicator top out in the middle, like, so the last one in 2017, we actually had a couple of red candles in the middle, right? And most of those retracements lasted about 2 months, like green candle, one red candle, green candle, one red candle, right? But when you look on a weekly time frame, how long these lasted, right? So it's just important to note that the current retracement that we're in right now, let me zoom up to it. We're still in a monthly red candle right now. So we've got April as a monthly red candle. So I'm just trying to make this bigger so you can see it. We've got April as a monthly red candle. May has to get above 58,900 in order to not be a red candle, which we might do in the next day or two, depending on whether this breakout with Bitcoin continues or not, right? But it could come back down is the point. Right now, this retracement we're just around 7-8 weeks for this retracement that's going on. If we look at when the pi cycle indicator topped out in 2013, that retracement was closer to 4 months, right? The other thing that I think bears noting is Jeroen van Lange did a lot of scenario research around Mercury retrogrades, right? We had an interview with him talking about this. Mercury retrograde tends to increase whatever price action is going on at the dominant level. So if you're in a dominant bull cycle on the monthly during the Mercury retrograde, you usually get a more significant run up. If you're in the bull cycle, you get a more significant run down. The only exception to that we see in the charts was in 2013 when the pi cycle indicator topped out. And in that case, this span that represents the Mercury retrograde, actually midway of the Mercury retrograde was where that retracement turned around. And we're still a few weeks away from the Mercury retrograde starting. The Mercury retrograde right now goes from end of May to early June, right? In fact, I should have looked at the dates for that. It's the 29th of May. Thank you. So we're still 2 weeks away from Mercury retrograde. So there's some possibility that instead of the parabolic run coming any day, as a lot of people are talking about, and I do think it's imminent, so please don't hear that I don't think it's imminent, but we could be just forming a bigger pattern on the daily or the weekly, and the pattern isn't actually going to break out for a couple more weeks. So we could see another few weeks of bull run up, bear run retracement, bull run up, bear run retracement. We could be forming a large triangle or some other pattern, right? And the reality is nobody has a crystal ball. I don't know the answer to that. But the reason I'm pointing it out is you trade differently when you think the parabolic run is happening any minute, right? Because a lot of traders keep their trades open. They're not taking profit at the target. If we're not into the parabolic run yet, and you're not taking profit, you're actually leaving a lot of money on the table because your trades are turning around and coming back down, right? And in fact, I talked to a few traders recently, their trades have turned around and actually, stopped out at either the entry point or just below the entry point, and they never took profit when they could because they're trying to get into these bigger trades where they leave their trades open because they're looking to get ready for this parabolic run. So just keep this in mind, right? I do think it's probable that it's happening soon, but it might be a week or two before it starts.
Yeah, sorry about that, Teresa. I was going to just back on what you were saying before. Da Vinci J50 says never turn a winning trade into a losing trade.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
The other thing about Mercury retrograde is it's 29th of April, I think it is. For those of you who are not familiar with how astrology can often affect price action and trading and what have you, there's well documented information out there. We did do an interview with Jeroen van Lange, which you will find on our channel on Mercury retrograde and his findings. But the thing with Mercury retrograde is often you get a little bit of a retracement a day or two before it happens. And then if we're in a bull run, it could just take off the price. So if we're in a bear cycle, then we go further down. This Mercury retrograde is going to be very interesting because several days before it, Saturn's in retrograde, and Saturn is a planet of finance and business and restriction. So we could see some retracement. Like I'm going to get a chart ready for you for what happened last year every time Saturn went into retrograde, conjuncting some other planets and what have you, because consistently when it did that, there was a significant retracement, and price action was really held back from springing forward. But once we do spring forward, we go up and up and up and away. So we'll get some data on that. Maybe, Teresa, do you think we should do a video on that specifically, or maybe just?
I think so. I think we should do a specific video on that, because when you look at how much astrology does affect trading, like there's just so much evidence in almost every asset out there that astrology does affect trading, although it affects different assets differently. There's some decent probability that what we could see is we're actually in a multi-day pattern here, that Saturn could be holding us back. The Saturn retrograde could be holding us back from the breakout. And as soon as that's done and we're into the Mercury retrograde, that will be the point we go parabolic, right? So just keep that in mind, because that so much affects your mindset and how you're trading. And sometimes waiting for the parabolic, it's like, you know, it can be a recipe for losing a lot of money or leaving a lot of profit on the table, because trading inside of a really big pattern is one of the most profitable things we can do as traders.
Yeah. So those dates are really important to note. And we will do, as I said, we will do a video specifically with the dates. And if you come back to this video and watch it from the beginning, if you've just joined us, in the description, those dates will be there. We're looking at Saturn retrograde and of course Pluto's retrograde, which means that, you know, emotions and fear and FUD and FOMO can be coming to the surface as well. And then Mercury retrograde. So from, I think it's something like from the 26th through to the 29th, how you would use this information is if you've got a pattern and it looks like it's breaking out, with Saturn going into retrograde, we might not get the momentum to push the price up and it could reverse and come back down again. So that's where you may consider doing tight stop losses or waiting the market out or getting in on a smaller trade, on a smaller leverage, so that the margin is lower and you've got that the room for it to dip down before it really bounces up. But I think we'll make a whole video on that because that's going to be super awesome. Love for you to like the video, please. We've got a new channel that we would really love your support on, and lots of really good videos that have already been uploaded. Let's talk about mindset euphoria.
Big
That's
conversation right now. Yeah. We're
here,
entering the euphoric part of the trading, the bull cycle, right? So definitely something to talk about.
Yeah, totally. And we want to bring this up because on our channel, we are giving you price action. We are looking at price trading patterns and strategies for trading those patterns. We're also looking at scenarios on what scenarios can affect that so you can make better decisions, and also the mindset component, because all of those three things are really important for you to be successful in being profitable with your trades, whether you're buying and holding and selling later on, or spot trading or trading with margin. All of these things apply. Euphoria, when we start going into the euphoric stage of the market, this is really important time to ground and center. So if you haven't picked your grounding and centering technique, now today would be a really good day to do it. So some grounding techniques are walking barefoot on the ground itself, connecting with Mother Earth. I love gardening. I like to get into the dirt and get dirty and get into the garden and feel that earthiness. That's one of my ways of balancing.
Our community gardens have never been so weeded as Nicola and I deal with our stress levels and getting ourselves grounded around our trades. They're looking fabulous.
Yeah. And then a centering technique is literally to just focus on the center, like this center area of your body, which is like the upper chest all the way down to the solar plexus area, and reference yourself physically to something that's around you. So you would look at an object and you would look at that object, and then you would bring your attention back to the center of your body, and you would look at that object, another object, and then you would reference yourself back to the center of your body. And even just give the command, I'm centering myself now, I'm feeling more centered. And this is a really good technique to use actually before you go into a trade. If you're a bit nervous, or you're thinking of trying to catch a falling knife or chase a running train. What are some of the techniques you like to use there, Teresa, other than gardening? We're out in the morning gardening really early.
Well, you know, I got to say, I'm really privileged to have Nicola's Grace as a next door neighbor. It's really fun when not only your dear friend but your neighbor is a mindset expert, because you know, one of my techniques is when my FOMO or FUD gets too high, I walk over and I talk to Nicola, right? Because you really help me get centered and grounded, right? But on top of that, you know, I do have a daily practice of yoga. I love chanting. You know, they say chanting works good for women, and men often find meditation works better. But I think personally, you've got to find your own way to still your thoughts, right? And you know, I love really noticing, like, am I sleeping at night? You know, because if my thoughts are running away like crazy at night, then I know I haven't done enough meditation and mindfulness work during the day. Because when trading starts disrupting my sleep, then, you know, on the one hand, you could think, oh, it's a good thing when you get up at 3 a.m. and check your trades, and maybe that resulted in one more winning trade. But if I'm getting overtired, then I'm making bad decisions, not only around my trading, but around my business as a whole. And then I start doing stupid things, you know, and so the short-term gain that provides usually ends up in long-term pain. It's not worth it. So it's really, self-care is really, really important in this conversation.
Yeah, every successful trader is going to tell you that they either meditate or they have some kind of mindfulness routine that helps them calm themselves down and keep a clear head so they can make better and better and better decisions. There is a Netflix special program on about sleep. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been watching it. It's awesome. You know, they just talk about some of the basic principles of sleep for the first 15 minutes. And then they walk you through a mindfulness meditation to help you calm down and go to sleep. They're really, really beautiful meditation practices. So I highly recommend it. If you're finding you can't shut your brain down at night, or you're dreaming about your trades, guilty as charged, right? Like I dream about candlesticks at night, right? Like, so you got to get to the point where you can notice that you're dreaming about that stuff. And, you know, when you can get to the point where you can lucid dream, and lucid dream just means you notice that you're dreaming and you can actually affect the outcome of the dream. You can intention the dream to go in a different direction, right? So, you know, one of the things I like to do, if I notice if I'm dreaming about trading and the dream is like stressful because I'm doing the wrong thing, I rewind the dream and intention my mind to dream it again in a way where I do it more powerfully. Yeah. You know, I remember we were all trading a blow-off top one day, and we didn't do too bad in trading, but personally, I got sucked into the FOMO of the blow-off top. You know, I had moved my stop loss up, so I hit the stop loss. I was still in profit when I hit the stop loss, but then I FOMO'd back in twice. Like, so although I had started with really good profit, I did a couple of really stupid FOMO trades and lost a chunk of that profit. I still came out way ahead on the blow-off top, but I was feeling embarrassed and a little bit ashamed that I did those little FOMO trades, right? And I found I was even dreaming about it at night, right? Mm-hmm. So I rewrote the dream in my dream. I allowed myself to think about the dream and say, no, wait a second. In this dream, I'm going to trade that different. When I stop out, I'm going to wait till the momentum starts. And then I'm going to market short. And I'm going to trade the short all the way down, right? Which, you know, I think is a really useful practice for traders. You can practice how you trade in your dreams when you intention it. You just got to make sure the dreams aren't getting super stressful, and that you're not beating yourself up in the dreams for missed trades or lost trades or opportunities missed, you know? Yeah.
I had a cool dream last night about opening up to receive greater and greater abundance, because in my dream there was all these crypto profits, and this teacher came up to me and said, do you want to buy a Lamborghini? And I said, well, I don't really need all of those trinkets. I mean, I'm so happy in life. I'm not really materialistic. I don't need them. And then the teacher said to me, well, you've got so much profit from your cryptos, you're going to need to spend some of it on you to feel rewarded. And I got taught about, you know, receiving greater abundance. And in the dream, I did exactly what Teresa said. I kind of corrected myself and said, great, I will receive all of this abundance. However, I will buy a few luxury items for myself, but the rest of it I will use to help other people and raise them up out of poverty, because that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about. So we can become the masters of our own dreams once you practice it. And you can even like go to bed at night and go, tonight, I would like to have a dream that releases all the blocks that are in the way of me trading profitably. Tonight, to my dream world, my dream fairies, I would really like to have a dream where I'm removing the anxiety about the loss that I just had. Like, just make that ask of your higher self. So as you go into your dream world, you're actually using it for healing.
Yeah. Or even tonight, I would like to have a dream where I decide on a successful scalping strategy, or, you know, it's okay to intention your mind for what you dream. And in fact, then you might even start noticing when you are dreaming it. You'll wake up and you'll remember those dreams. It's very cool. That is what lucid dreaming is. And you can train yourself to lucid dream when you're on top of your own consciousness. Like that's why meditation or chanting or some other practice is so important, because your dreams are really powerful tools in helping you become successful in life in general, but especially successful as a trader.
Yeah, awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
so just to finish up with, guys, we're going to answer some of the questions you've got in the comments. Tammy just wanted to know, what was the next Netflix special? It wasn't a meditation program, Tammy. Tammy's one of our crypto ninjas, which is our private mastermind. If any of you are interested in learning about that, there's a link below. It was a sleep one, wasn't it, Teresa?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but we can include a link to it in the comments down below when we find it. I'm seeing if I can pull it up really rapidly here, but I'm having trouble getting it up quickly enough, so I'll figure that out later.
Like you just go to Netflix and you go to series or live documentaries or something.
It's called Headspace Guide to Sleep.
There we go. Headspace
Guide to Sleep. And I think it's got 6 episodes, and they're very short and sweet. So I've been, watching TV at night, and then that's the last thing I watch before bed. Before I want to crash for the night and listen to their little meditation. It's really good, but fascinating information on sleep in general. You'll find it really interesting.
Yeah.
So I especially like Nicola's dream though about treating yourself and buying stuff. I like those of you who watch BitBoy Crypto, he just bought a Lamborghini. I'm like, yay, Ben. I've no desire to buy a Lamborghini, but as a former sports car enthusiast, I used to do auto sports. Ben, when we get to meet someday, I do want to drive the Lamborghini.
We reached out to him to have him on the channel because he's a really expert at portfolios and altcoins. So we definitely want to have BitBoy Crypto on here.
Yeah.
Peter's asking, are we still in the altcoin bull run? Well, we've just had a little bit of a retracement and we're gearing up for another one. I mean, altcoin season, so to speak, is still underway. And I don't think we've come to the top of that by any stretch of the imagination. And if you look at the Ichimoku cloud, we are looking at going into June and starting to see some really good things happening in June on that cloud. But already ADA's starting to break out after doing absolutely nothing for a really long time. Polkadot, looks like it's had a retracement and now it's ready to move forward. Definitely Ethereum is like leading the pack in a really powerful way at the moment, gearing up to continue that. So I would say we're definitely into altcoin season, and we haven't seen the craziness yet, right? We've just seen it ticking along, a little bit of a parabolic run in some instances, and then a retracement, but not that craziness. So I think we're still well and truly in altcoin season.
Yeah, I would have a different answer to that. I would just say yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad I bought Link a couple days ago because it's shooting up. Still waiting for my Litecoin to shoot up. Litecoin, where are you? What's going on? But yeah, altcoins are looking really good. Anytime the Bitcoin dominance breaks down below 50%, this is something Jeroen van Lange talks about a lot on the blockchain today, his channel. Looking at the Bitcoin dominance, when you break down below 50, you're looking at a really good altcoin season. We've been consistently and steadily breaking down below 50. So when Bitcoin's going sideways, usually altcoins are doing quite nicely.
Awesome. So guys, thanks so much for listening. We've got our job cut out for us. For those of you watching the replay, we would love your support in this new channel. We are going to be bringing conversations to you that nobody else is having. We are going to be looking at price action and pattern trading, strategies for trading, scenarios that can affect price action that you need to consider if you want to make profitable decisions in your trades, as well as the mindset and the emotional component and psychology component of trading. So we are going to be having conversations, like I said, that no other YouTuber is having. So we love for you to subscribe to the channel, click the bell and hit all. So when we go live, you are going to receive a notification, and also when we upload videos, which we do daily.
And, until next time, Trade consciously.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Thanks so much for listening. We love that like. Bye bye.